I forget what that movie is, where these Somalian pirates hijack the ship,
Right.
and there's the
Captain
scene.
Phillip.
Thank you, Captain Phillip.
Yeah.
And there's the scene where I am the new captain, where it's like that same shot, and the meme goes where McLaren is like, I am the new Haas.
I saw another one which was Orange is the new Haas.
Hello, folks. First race of this new season. Well, the podcast season 2 has already begun. If you've not listened to our first episode as the season opener, go check it out. It's with the guy who was at his, I want to say like the 571st race in the sport, Mark Sutton, the legendary F1 photographer. He's just been brilliant throughout the episode. It's on any streaming platform that you can catch this podcast on. Go check him out. But today we are back with the season opener race, Bahrain. We are your hosts. I am Akash,
and I'm Sarang.
And lights out and away we go. Sarang, before we get into the race, man, tell me, the season opener. There's been so many changes just from the visual point of view. Your thoughts on those, man?
Oh man, I love it. I mean, the graphics. I mean, since you're talking about the visual aspects of things, right? The whole graphics overall, I like it. I think it was due. For a long time they have kept the same graphics. I was kind of bored of it, honestly speaking. These graphics, there are issues. I know a lot of people are complaining about a lot of things, but genuinely I liked it. Like, yes, the numbers are not readable, like the driver numbers. But apart from that, I think it's pretty awesome. Like, overall, they have done pretty good. I think even in terms of the race coverage as well, right? They have improved it a lot. Even the overtakes, like they usually, they wouldn't show, they were showing them like after the fact. But yeah, still pretty awesome.
True. I think that driver number thing and the logo or something that pops up too on the side is like something they're bringing in from MotoGP, if I'm not wrong. My issue with those driver numbers are I don't remember all of them. So when I see like I know a few, but then when I see a number, I'm like, I don't know who this person is.
Right.
So that's my issue. But I love the intro, man. The opening theme videos changed. Mm-hmm. The way they are showing like what race it is and those visuals have changed. So I for one love it, man. It's a good change to have.
Yeah, for sure. And I think going in with the new regs and everything, I think this was the perfect time to make these changes. So, good on them.
Yep. I think we'll keep talking about stuff with respect to visuals, what we like, what we don't, as we keep saying them. But going into the race, yesterday we saw comeback of the prancing horse, man. What a race.
Yep. I think, I had earlier described the Ferrari car looking like a dragon, and I think they have like awoken the dragon because man, they were back with a vengeance.
They were. That's true, yeah. Like, I think I didn't. So I'll be honest, I didn't expect this coming out of the preseason testing because Mercedes has always been sandbagging. Red Bull's been on the top, and that's been the theme.
Right.
Ferrari, sure, in the 2018s and before they cheated a bit and stuff, so that was there. But for once, the sandbagging was true. The prancing horse was on top. Like, it was such a brilliant weekend overall from Ferrari.
Crying wolf and everything. That story.
Yes, exactly, man. Exactly. And then Leclerc was on fire. On the other side, Leclerc was in completely fire, dominating, qualifying the race. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, man, brilliant. I think it was his day today for sure. I think I don't think he ever thought last year that he would like completely dominate a weekend, and he absolutely did. I don't think he did any mistakes. He had a cool mind. I mean, I can't find any flaws in his driving pretty much yesterday. Awesome. Though, I have to call out Leclerc. I think he was a bit cheeky on the last lap. I don't know if they didn't show it on the TV, But he basically pulled a prank on his engineers. He decided to give them a heart attack by saying that, I'm losing power.
Oh, is
And
it? Was this on the radio?
Yeah, it was on the radio. And then, that his engineer, I don't know what his name is, but in his typical, very heavily accented voice, he's like, yeah, we are looking into it. And then he's like, no, don't worry. I'm just joking.
I'm pretty sure that engineer was on a table flip moment.
Yeah.
Like, this is the best I can do in my career. Bye, I quit.
Yep.
That goes to show, right? Like, he was so calm and confident then
Exactly,
at that point that he knew it
yeah.
was in the bag.
Yep, pretty much. I think at the point where Max's car, retired, I think he knew that it was his. Carlos was quite far behind.
Right.
And yeah, I don't think there was anything. Even if he would have just slowed down at the finish line and waited a few seconds, that would have still won him the race.
True. But speaking of Carlos there, right, like being at a gap, I think he was having some problems. I don't know. I for one, like P2, 1-2, amazing finish. But like he's mentioned this a couple of times in his Park Forme interview and like post-race interviews that he was struggling throughout the weekend. He didn't have the pace that he could have seen for himself. But that was interesting because if he says he didn't have the pace, would we have seen a battle for P1 without team orders if he did have the pace?
Yeah, right. That's actually true. I think, and I saw a couple of his interviews. He seems as if like he talks as if he came in last for some reason. I don't know why.
Exactly. I don't know who was taking his interview, and he was like, "Don't be too hard on yourself." And I'm like, "Please, yes."
Yeah, but I kind of I appreciate his attitude that like not winning is losing kind of a thing. But regardless, he did an awesome job. Maybe he kind of is probably jealous that he's not able to extract the most out of the car, and because clearly they have a very powerful car, and I think Ferrari has gotten their rocket ship engine back again, right? It feels that way.
Yeah. This season's gonna be so amazing.
Yeah.
And then, No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but I guess Carlos will catch up eventually because he is a brilliant driver, and and I'm sure like the car, like the changes that we see today, like were planned years earlier. That's basically when Charles was already there. So the car is probably still more in favor of Charles' driving style. But I guess it's just a matter of adjustment for Carlos. But I'm pretty sure he'll be there soon.
True, and to add to that, like this is the same science we saw last year, where I think like the first few races he was tuning into the car, and then the way he's come back to like be ahead of Charles in that leaderboard last year. So
exactly,
it's gonna be just brilliant out of that Ferrari camp. But what was he thinking with that 3-stopper yesterday?
I have no idea. I think probably again it comes back to the fact that he was not comfortable with the car. I think he was not confident at pushing it at its limit, in the sense that probably he feared that he might not finish the race at all, or maybe like Max and Perez might catch him or something like that. So I think that's probably what was going on in his mind.
Fair point. Also, like, because you bring in Max, like Max versus Charles yesterday was so brilliant, man. Like at that one point when they were like next to each other, going back and forth. Wow,
it was brilliant.
What a beauty.
For like at that point, I really thought that they're gonna collide because of all their history.
Yes.
But they kept it clean, surprisingly so. And it was brilliant. I mean, it was short-lived, just 2 laps, but still, the back and forth was very entertaining, and I think pretty much everybody was losing their shit at that time.
Yeah, Max was I think like it was his first plunge. Yeah, it was his first plunge where he went on the outside, outside that pit stop exit with that sparks flying. I hope Mark, if you're listening to this, I hope you got that beautiful second Max spark shot to your bucket list.
Yeah, it was awesome to look at. I mean, almost at a point it felt like his car was on fire because the amount of sparks that were flying out from behind. But but I think Charles was very brilliant in the sense that, he exactly knew he let Verstappen by in the turn one both the times because he knew that he could, just take it back at the next DRS zone. He didn't try to defend him much. And even at the restart in the safety car, if you had seen, the way he blocked Verstappen. So we have always talked about this, Verstappen is so good at restarts.
King of starts.
Exactly. And he does this a lot. Like he comes almost alongside just before. But then that worked against him this time completely. Charles exactly used it against him. He cornered it into the last corner and just went away. That was awesome.
Yeah, and then it was just a brilliant strategy move too. I think Red Bull tried to work an undercut against Ferrari, but hey, you can't work strategies against a team who just doesn't work with strategies, right? Like
exactly.
It's like an autistic kid trying to make sense of the world, and you can't reason with someone who's playing with those rules.
Exactly. Yeah, I see Ferrari falling into the chaotic good category of the D&D, ma'am.
Right.
Because I don't think they even have a strategist. They just roll a dice and decide whatever the dice tells them. But regardless, I think it's weird that Ferrari, with their history and with all the fuck-ups that they have had through the ages, I was waiting, okay, now they're gonna fuck up, but that never happened. It's really surprising.
True. Man. But I think there isn't much to report on Red Bull because it was just obvious there. So I guess we can just get by past Red Bull yesterday. You summed it up very well. I forget what was it. It was just
I think they were a little cocky. They felt a little cocky. Even in fact yesterday, in the interviews, the comment that Max made about Mercedes' pace, and I don't know if you saw this, but the Mercedes, whoever runs the Mercedes Twitter, man, they basically said the same thing as soon as his car retired. But it was really awesome. Anyways, the way I wanted to sum it was basically they went in cocky, they fell on their face, and I think better make these mistakes now at the start of the season than later. So I guess they probably will learn their lesson from here.
True. Yeah, the season's gonna be such amazing seeing these, and now Ferrari's in the mix, right? Last year they knew they were then fighting for P3, but now I think it's gonna be head on head for all these top three teams.
And another thing, they don't have Masi anymore, so.
Oh man, speaking of that, with the safety car there, it's we will allow lapped cars to unlap themselves.
Man, I saw that message and I had PTSD even though I was not really involved. I still had PTSD from it.
Oh man, it's been 14 weeks to that event and oh my god.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Since we're talking about Ferrari, we have to talk about
B team.
There's customer team, right? Haas.
Oh man, I think I'm as surprised as everyone who's been chatting about Haas over the weekend. I think you are in that same bucket. I speak for both of us here.
Yep.
What the fuck was that? They are third in the constructions or fourth in the construction at this point?
Yeah, something like that. Exactly.
What the fuck?
Who would have thought, man? They were at the bottom. They were literally scraping the bottom of the barrel last season.
Oh my god.
But man, what happened? KMag, holy shit. He earned a new fan, man. I have criticized him a lot earlier, but he shut up all his critics. That's all I can say. 10 days ago, he did not know he's going to be in an F1 car.
Yeah.
And today he is, and he's P5. Well,
for the last 2 years, 1 year with F1 fan fiction and the year before that, we've never discussed Grosjean, KMag, Haas, because there isn't anything to discuss, right?
Exactly.
But today the tables have turned just so fast. Wow. So this just goes to show, right? They've kept saying that we've been working on the 2022 car, and boy have they been working.
Oh yeah. And in fact, if you have seen it, right, their car has some really unique features. If you've seen the fin that they have on the on the tail, which is pretty unique. I haven't seen that on any other car. I'm pretty sure they really did put in a lot of effort here, and it's paid off. It's all brilliant.
Yeah, man. If they continue making such developments throughout the season, oh man, I'm rooting for Haas to fight with Mercedes for top 3, like P3. Because it looks like Mercedes is at P3. I mean, obviously the first race never decides anything, but maybe we see Haas versus Mercedes for P3. Wow.
Right. I really want to point out something. The whole thing, I don't know if you've heard about what they call it as the butterfly effect, right? It's funny how a country trying to join NATO, like starting from there, it went to KMag getting P5.
Oh man, that's so true. In many wrong ways, but that's so true.
And a corollary to that, okay, it warms my heart that Mazepin must be fuming right now.
But yeah, man, Haas. Yeah. Oh yeah, I would have loved to see Mick 2 up there, but I think like he's still getting used to that car. That's where like I think the experience of KMag is coming back in. You can see how a rookie versus an experienced driver differ when they're handed the same car, and this is that perfect show of how you get into there into the points with a car like Haas.
No, and I think this is going to be very beneficial for Schumacher as well, because till now he didn't really have competition, and I didn't think that was good for his career as such.
Yes,
and I'm pretty sure he's going to learn a lot from KMag, the experience that he brings to the team. I think it's going to be very essential for him here on. So I think it kind of works in his favor, even though, it might be a little embarrassing at the start where he like doesn't finish anywhere near him. But I think in the long run, it's going to be beneficial.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, man, Haas has been such a surprise, and not just like him being there at pure pace and stuff, but like even trying to defend and battle things out. So overall, just a brilliant weekend from Haas. And talking about like B teams, right? Alpha Tauri on the other end too. It was completely what Red Bull wasn't able to deliver yesterday. Great weekend overall. Preseason was good from Gasly. Alpha Tauri looked strong yesterday. Yeah.
Though it's really funny. How for a Japanese engine, the only driver who finished the race was a Japanese driver.
That is true. Oh man, that is true.
So I don't know what to make out of it, but something to think about.
But those cars have been catching fire, man. Like it's the third or the fourth time I've seen like someone marshalling that car.
Yeah. Though I think Gasly did well. I mean, of course, he ran out of luck, but he was doing good. But I don't know, man. I really feel, and I feel sad for Gasly that he's kind of stuck in that team. I really wish he had gotten into another team, because I think like somewhere, since AlphaTauri is kind of an experimental, it's like the canary in the coal mine for Red Bull. They try out different things with them. And I think because of that, Gasly is at a disadvantage in general. And I hope he gets a better seat. He is a great driver, so let's see.
While I would want that, I feel like that might not happen soon, because Perez has actually gotten very comfortable and he is proving to be a good fight since the last few races that he's gotten comfortable with that car now. So as long as he's fighting up there with Max, that second seat is pretty much locked in with Perez.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. And even in the last, not last, of course, Perez, his car gave up. But it just noped the fuck out, Anyways, but he was actually fighting Hamilton pretty well, at the end, because I think Hamilton somehow found some pace at the end, as usual. And he was trying to get that P3, but he was defending pretty well at that time.
Turkish GP returns, whatever, Abu Dhabi GP returns. It was like Perez versus Hamilton again. I think like the car thought that the race was only 56 laps. That's what I think it was.
Probably. Yeah, we might just find out that some intern at Red Bull mistakenly put the total laps as 56 instead of 57. And all their calculations got messed up because of that.
Yeah. By the way, like onto something factual at this point. Why don't you educate us a bit about this thing that we were talking about earlier, where these cars catching fire is actually some cause of concern that might be because of these new regulations and stuff.
Yeah, I was reading some Reddit discussion about this. I think there was this article by AMUS. I think it's some news site, some
Right.
German news site or something like that. But basically, what they were talking about is that like there's some issues with like the fuel pumps on the current cars, and like it's causing some fuel leaks and stuff, which is causing like damaged electronics and things like that. And like if we see especially the fire that Gasly's car had, which did seem a little weird. The flames were,
Yeah.
It seemed like fuel was involved in that. At least when the fire started, it felt like that way to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like Red Bull problems are obviously associated to the same issue, I guess. And also, if you think about it, like their top 3 drivers faced the issue, who were clearly obviously pushing their car, and Tsunoda probably not as much, so he somehow survived. So I guess it's probably got to do with the same issue, and I hope they fix it, because fuel related issues can be really dangerous.
Yeah, and especially like I think we've seen so many cars being marshaled. Vettel, I said this before too, right? Like Vettel did it during pre-testing.
Oh yeah.
Some few other folks did it too. Gasly today. Fingers crossed. I hope this doesn't turn into a bigger disaster. And hey, it's part of the changes coming in. So yeah, I think we're just gonna end up learning new things and adapting to the 7 years that have changed for the first time, right? So yeah, hopefully
the changes are working, because I think a lot of people, I mean, almost all the drivers said so, that following has become a lot easier now than before. And we could clearly see that on the field as well, how everybody was battling it out. So I'm glad these changes happen. Of course, there are going to be issues, whenever change happens, there are going to be issues. But I think we are in a net positive. So I think that's fair.
True. Before we move on, let's just talk about some random strats, and I think like you set up a good stage for that, because if we see who had the Jelly Bean Award of most overtakes, right? That was the rookie, that was the debutant, Zhou Guanyu. 11 overtakes, man, not at all bad for his first season. Maximum positions gained. Stroll, Aston Martin was nowhere in the whole race yesterday, but Stroll's up there. And then most positions lost, Norris.
Oh man, McLaren. Okay, we'll get to it later, but I just feel for them.
I forget what that movie is, where these Somalian pirates hijack the ship,
right?
And there's the
Captain
scene.
Phillip.
Thank you, Captain Phillip. And there's the scene where I am the new captain, where it's like that same shot, and the meme goes where McLaren is like, I am the new Haas.
I saw another one which was orange is the new Haas.
Yeah, man. I think we should do this. We should get in like this as a recurring segment and just discuss a few memes up here.
Yeah, of course. And I have to call out another meme that I think we shared on Instagram. That was the Verstappen throwing this guy Hamilton out, and then Charles keeping him from behind.
True.
It is exactly that today.
Yes. I overheard. I don't know who was speaking at the moment from the commentary box, but there's apparently some new E10 fuel. F1 trying to take some sustainability fuel steps towards the racing, which is at least a good initiative. They're with the whole aero and the engineering regulations coming in 2022. There is a fuel regulation coming in where the teams have to use like a 10% sustainable fuel composite in whatever fuel they use. So that's a good move. Um, and the other thing I want to point out, at least this is something I observed, was race start replays was on lap 5.
Yep.
Someone is listening to us. I am more. There is Illuminati for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I was happy about that because finally we got to see what all was going on in lap 2 and 3.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, kudos to them. I think they are really committed overall to improving their programming, and
Yes.
yeah, they're taking steps for it. So yeah, that's, I mean, credit due where credit due. So yeah.
Yes. Coming back to these constructors, man, Mercedes. I'm glad they're this bottom in our discussion too, and like after
Uh-huh.
years and years over, there is something not eventful happening. I mean, I hope they find their mojo back and there's competition, because competition is entertaining.
Yeah.
But for one, I didn't care if Hamilton was whatever 4 or 6 or wherever he was.
Yeah. For a change, I did not hear Hamilton on the radio much at all, and I was so happy about it.
Yeah, because there's nothing to crib about when you're not winning.
Exactly. Yeah. The Mercedes, man,
Mhm.
for a change, they are not really sandbagging. So that's surprising.
Yeah.
I think this porpoising issue especially has hurt them a
Hmm.
lot. I think they are the only team. I think most teams have found somewhat of a middle ground of a fix for it, even if it's not
Right.
perfect. But I think these guys are still struggling. We could clearly see with practice how terrible it was. It was
Yeah.
basically just sitting in a boat or something like that for
Yeah.
them, and going at 300 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm not sure, but I guess during the race they were not bouncing around that much. So I guess they kind of did some quick fix. But I guess
Mhm.
because of that, they were seeing some tire degradation issues, because it almost felt to me like Hamilton was in the pit stop every 10 laps or something like that.
Yeah, he did have, like, I think he was the first one to start the pit
Yeah.
stop train too and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Russell also complained, or not complained, but stated this in his post-race interview, that they're
Mhm.
still trying to work on the porpoising.
Mhm.
So there's quite a lot of change that I think like all of these cars are gonna bring.
Oh, by the way, for listeners who are not aware what porpoising is, basically, just a quick reminder. Basically, porpoise is an animal like a fish, like a dolphin, which like swims in water and like jumps while swimming. So, for most of these cars, with the changed aero regulation, since most of the aero comes from beneath the car, what happens is the car gets pushed down to the floor, and then with that they lose some vacuum, and then the car rises up again, and that keeps happening in a cycle. So basically like sitting on a horse or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a quick explanation. Anyways, go ahead.
But talking about Russell stating this, I didn't even notice him on the track yesterday.
Yeah, actually, I'm not even kidding. I somewhat forgot, because see, usually we know that Bottas is not going to be there. He's going to be somewhere, and it really did not feel to me like the second driver had changed at Mercedes, because it was exactly the same. There was no competition from the second driver to Hamilton, and yeah, I think he was an unknown today, pretty much.
True, right? And to add to like the whole Mercedes debacle yesterday, something interesting is, excluding the DNFs, like the bottom 6 drivers or the bottom 6 cars were all driven by Mercedes engines. So
Yeah,
something is going on. Something is going on.
yeah. Probably Toto's just pissed that he did, win, and he turned down the engines for all his customer teams or something.
I go down, I take the whole ship with me.
Exactly. Talking about their issues, I think Hamilton had a lot of fun right after his pit stop, right? When he
Oh
came out.
man. Yeah, and that's the interesting part. Like, it felt like he was just with skates on an ice rink. He just couldn't get his car to be
Yeah,
on
he
the track in
couldn't.
that turn one. Like, something was wrong.
Yeah. I think it's a characteristic, especially of the hard tire. and the thicker tires as well, because there's more rubber to get heat into. And I think they've also reduced the temperature of the tire blankets as well. So I
Right.
think overall we are going to see this a lot more. Especially I really wonder what will happen in wet races, because let's see.
Yeah.
But
And then weren't you also saying like you read an article where these guys were saying the pit stops have also gotten a bit more longer because of the tire size and the weight and everything.
Oh yeah. I think I don't recall where I read it, but yeah. Basically, since the tires have become larger, they are heavier, and I'm pretty sure those pit stop crew is not as used to it. They
Yeah.
probably need to bulk up a little to carry those tires. But yeah.
Yeah, I think Ricardo was a victim of that. I think like a 5.5 second, or Norris was it, but like one of the McLarens.
Oh yeah.
5.5
McLaren just,
second.
okay, since we are
Yeah.
alluding to it now, let's just finish them off, because they are doing that to themselves anyways. So McLaren, I think they're back to their GP2 days.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Alonso is laughing his way
Yeah.
to home right now.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
And man, okay, one more thing I need to point out. The moment they put the chrome decals on their wheels, their car just became slower. So yeah.
Tech nerds. Tech nerds out there.
But man, they're gonna face some pain, I guess, through this season.
I hope even they are able to find their mojo, because until last season it felt like they're going to be these good competitors for P3, but suddenly they are the Haas replacement for 2022.
Yeah. It always feels like they switched places, right?
Yeah.
They just straight up switched places. Haas went where McLaren was, and McLaren went where Haas was.
That's a good one. Yes, that is true. That's a good one. Hey, but speaking of, we did say Stroll gained max positions yesterday, +7. But overall, I didn't even think I saw much of that green car on the track yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't see it much either, I guess. I think because primarily earlier in the race, he wasn't gaining positions. Right. And I think they were like right behind somewhere. And I think later on, the safety car helped him somewhat, I guess, with the 7 positions he gained. But I guess, I don't know. Let's see. Aston Martin, they don't seem to have the performance, or I don't know what's going on exactly. It almost feels like Seb just, noped the fuck out. He just cheated on his COVID test. Like, he didn't want to embarrass himself in that car.
He knew
like
what
Hulk,
was coming.
Yeah. Like, Hulk, you deal with it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but overall it was. Hey, first of all, Mega Hulk was back.
Yeah.
I was hoping to see some good action come out of it, but we didn't see anything.
I guess not in the Aston Martin.
Yeah, I maybe they thought of using the BWT pink tag. They did have the pink. There's so much happening yesterday. I think they were hoping that them being like the Mercedes B team, flashback 2020, that they would get some pace, but nothing was happening with that.
Hey man, talking about that BWT, okay, I was so fucking confused yesterday because of that Alpine, because it just in my mind keeps messing me up. What car is this exactly? Is this Alpine? Is this Force India? Is this Racing Point? What's going on?
Yeah, I think like Papa Stroll's thinking if they just rebrand the livery, things change. But you got to work inside the car.
Exactly.
Work on the inside, not the outside.
Yep.
Let's spend some time on this last. I think this is the last team that we want to talk about. Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Man, they suddenly are like superstars, right? All of a sudden.
The bottom 2 teams from last season, right? Haas and Alfa Romeo. I mean, who would have thought we would be talking about them so much?
Right, exactly.
In this season.
And that reaffirms my belief that Ferrari have basically strapped a rocket engine
Yes.
because that's what's happened. All Ferrari powered cars are right there at the top. So yeah, you know.
Yeah, man, this new era would be good to see some new consistent champions, some new battles out
I think
there.
this is a very famous quote by Enzo Ferrari, right? Aerodynamics is for those guys who can't create good engines.
Wow, that guy was a visionary, ahead of his time, man.
Exactly.
But yeah, both drivers. Bottas, sure, he is just Bottasing around. But Joe yesterday
Yes.
was having a
Yeah.
good debut.
Okay, let's call it out. Okay, first of all, I was very confused at a lot of times during the race when people were straight up calling him Joe. Okay, like I was like, is that a new driver? What's going on? Who's Joe?
Man, if you can't pronounce a name, don't repeat it million times. But Zhou, Zhou Gongyu. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I wanna see more what comes from that cockpit. Hope his stunt continues and it just gets better from here. I was very skeptical because he's just yet another
Paid
money
driver.
paid driver. But a good race one, into the points for his debut again.
Yep.
Just amazing.
And honestly, even if he wouldn't had gotten the point, he still drove brilliantly because he was overtaking well. Of course, he had the most overtakes. He was overtaking well. He was defending well. He was keeping pace with Bottas for most of the time, actually.
Yes.
And brilliant. Like for a rookie in his first race, brilliant. I think. I was super impressed by him.
True. There was some fun stuff happening at Williams. I think Alex was just having some PTSD there, but because we are an Alfa Romeo, there was a good 2v1 battle with Bottas and Zhou, both trying to fight with Alex there. Some fun racing there.
Yeah. And I'm also keen to see what Alex can do in this Williams. I think he's going to be the Mr. Saturday here on, because that's what he basically did in yesterday's quali as well. So I think Latifi is going to be the new Mazepin for this season.
That's a good point. I can see that happening, right? Like, because if you think about it, we didn't even think of mentioning him during this whole episode. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because see, the only reason he would be like the third last or fourth last usually was because Mazepin and Schumacher would be behind him.
Yeah, fair point.
So I think he doesn't have that buffer anymore. So yeah.
I think that's a good race there. All in all, just a brilliant season opener. I, for one, was shocked and surprised and happy to see, not just see like the three teams on the first six and then everyone battling out like the Formula 1.5. It seems like Formula 1 and 1.5 are bleeding into each other. These new cars, first of all, they look brilliant on the track. It feels like a racing sport now.
Since you say that, I have to really call this out. Hamilton's car, man, I'm in love with that car. That first of all, his helmet, the green T-cam and the green decals that he has adopted, they just look so good. I love that car very much.
And especially yesterday on the night track, right? Like it shined a lot.
Yep, definitely. It was looking brilliant. Like, love it. I never thought I would say that I love the Mercedes Silver Alloys livery, but here I am.
And this is the fun part, folks. This is the fun part. Go back to the season 1.5 that we've had where we've discussed livery, and you can hear Sarang crib about the Silver Arrows, that he doesn't like them. And this is the turnaround that this man's having. So yes. But all in all, it was a fun Sunday, and this season, man, it's got me so excited. The Red Dragon's back. F1.5 is gonna be amazing, and I hope McLaren come back, because I want to see them fight their way up through the season. We'll make a good episode for DTS.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, man, I think like this has been a good episode one for
Mhm.
episode two, but episode one
Right.
for the race.
Mhm.
Folks, yeah, just too excited. Comment to us, like tell us what you thought about the race. Tell us
Mhm.
um, what you think is gonna happen through the season, how you are or aren't excited about the season. You can DM us. You know our names, Akash and Sarang, your hosts. F1 fanfiction @ anywhere. You can reach out to us if you want to email. Contact us @ F1 fanfiction. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
chat. Let's chat. Until the next episode, the next race. These are your hosts signing off.
Bye bye.